Welcome back to Outnumbered. The mother of a fallen Navy SEAL speaking out. She is furious that General Martin Dempsey, Joint Chiefs Chairman, downplayed recent losses to ISIS in the Iraqi city of Ramadi. The general saying Ramadi is, quote, not symbolic in any way. Debbie Lee's son, Mark, was the first Navy SEAL killed there. She's written an open letter asking for an apology from the general.
Doesn't sound like there's going to be any apology coming anytime soon. I told them the right thing to do is to make a public apology. We have sacrificed greatly over there. We have men and women who have been blown to smithereens over there, left body parts there. My son's blood is on that soil. And to say it's not symbolic, it's just unconscionable to me that that happens.
General Dempsey has not responded. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Armed Services Committee, Senator John McCain, blasted Dempsey's comments as insensitive and insulting.
He never fails to surprise me with his insensitivity and sort of willingness to knee-jerk whatever way he can to support the moral bankruptcy of this failed foreign policy of Barack Obama. The message to ISIS, we don't care. Go ahead and take the capital of Anbar province, the heartland of the Sunnis, who they absolutely need if they're going to beat back ISIS.
Jedediah, you have a visceral reaction to this.
Yeah, I mean, he should apologize. This is highly, highly insensitive. I mean, if that were my son or daughter who had lost their lives and now you're coming out and saying it's not symbolic, I mean, what kind of statement does that make? And John McCain is absolutely right. It does downplay it. It absolutely does. And anybody who watching looks at us and says, A, we're not taking it seriously, and B, do we not value the lives of people that we put into harm's way to then degrade it by making a comment like that? It's disgusting to me.
McCain went on to say, sometimes I think I've grown numb from the statements made by General Dempsey in defense of this administration and its feckless foreign policy, but this is truly a stunner. Charles.
It is a stunner. Put it this way, none of us had ever heard of Ramadi before this war. Obviously, it's symbolic. It means a lot strategically, and obviously it means even more considering how many of our young men and women have died over there. And this is sort of this whole way that's this responsible retreat that the president has bragged about, Iraq and next Afghanistan. We see civilian deaths go up every single month. This place is imploding, and to treat it like this is so embarrassing and so heartbreaking. I don't know what they're waiting for. Apologize right now.
Andrea, I mean, this is a city that was retaken as the start of the surge. I mean, it is symbolic in so many ways. To downplay it now, why do you do that politically?
It's absolutely symbolic. But this administration has to defend not just this, Melissa, but what about the families of the fallen soldiers who tried to capture Gitmo detainees that are being just released now back into the population? It's a theme. And so you can imagine the disappointment, the anger, the frustration, and the families of the soldiers who lost lives looking for Bo Bergdahl. I mean, this doesn't seem to matter to the White House, the sacrifice, the millions of dollars, and the lives that were lost in pursuit of these terrorists. For what? All for nothing to be thrown away. And it's why, and when you brought up in the last segment about we're being spread thin, it's why I have a visceral reaction when I hear people calling for boots on the ground to be sent to the Middle East. Because if this White House is not going to get behind and support the families of the fallen and respect them now, I don't want another soldier's leg blown off in the name of a dump like Afghanistan.
And it has that feeling like, you know, you brush it off. Like, we're losing this city, that's fine. So, it doesn't matter to us anyway. Is that a good strategy?
So is this insensitivity or just incompetence? Because, I mean, this White House, I don't know, maybe they've been able to convince the general and others that this really is the JV team. Are they sticking to that talking point? I mean, that's disgusting. It's disgusting what's being said, but the actions are equally as disgusting. It's because Jedediah just mentioned, what does this tell our enemy? That it's not symbolic at all? That so when they take it and they start to build their caliphate, will they ever back off the JV talking point? Because this tells me that they're still in it to win it with that.
Right. That they're going to downplay it politically, that this isn't such a big deal.
And try to convince the rest of us.
That narrative going.
Yeah. Well, they would have to admit that they were wrong. They would have to admit that they made a mistake, which we know this administration doesn't do, that they basically handed Iraq over to ISIS and lost all of the gains that we made. They are so concerned
along with our weapons,
with reputational management of this president that they don't care even about admitting reality, let alone wrongdoing.
But wouldn't they also have to then double down and commit to doing something about it? I mean, isn't that part of the problem, is that if you say that this city is being retaken and that we are going to let it go, and you admit that's a problem.
It would mandate that you be proactive then, and then the public would demand that you be proactive, because how could you mention a problem
and they're not ready?
We hope the public would demand it.
Yeah.
But perhaps what the White House is also conscious of, just like the general, maybe they're not going to demand it because they believe what the White House is saying about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know how many people actually still believe that. I can't conceive that the White House would believe that JV talking point anymore. They would have to be deaf, dumb, and blind.
I think Harris is right in the idea that I'm not sure the American public is actually committed to really going and doing anything about this with people and really doubling down on that.
That's right, because they see, and that's a logical perspective, right? Why would we send men and women over to get blown up when the administration's just going to shrug it off? I say, let them kill themselves.
Meanwhile, apologize to that mom.
Yes,
there you go.
Absolutely.
A new book that could cause big problems for Hillary Clinton. What it says about foreign donations made to the Clinton Foundation while she was Secretary of State, and what it could mean for her campaign. Plus, potential opponents honing strategies to go up against Hillary Clinton in the Democratic primary, whether any of them have a chance against that Clinton machine.